everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another live interview session in line with the International Education Summit for Quality Education 2022, which will be held from 28th to 30th October 2022 in Lucknow, India. So this interview is on remedial education. And for that, we have Mrs. Namrata Pritham Chowdhury. She's an international speaker of Institute of Global Professionals. She's an assistant professor at School Training Nodal Coordinator at Suryadatta School, Pune. So on behalf of the association, I warmly welcome you, madam, for this interview. And as usual, we have Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra, the principal of Kunwar Global School, Lucknow, India. Welcome, sir. And I would like to welcome Mr. Janaka Kamalgoda, the president of our association. Welcome, sir. So first of all, I would like to invite Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra to speak a few words.
Thank you, Hasini. Thank you, Mr. Janaka, for providing me this opportunity to share about the event we are going to be organizing. And this is the platform where we tend to reflect on ideas about remedial measures, about safety and security in schools, about classroom practices. And keeping that fact in view, we are going to organize a conference on education and sustainable development goals from 28th to 30th of October. I take this opportunity to invite everyone for this conference. The website iafqe.org has all the details, and I would be requesting Hasini to also showcase the website for the details and share it with our wonderful people around so that we can have maximum participation for this event. Well, this event is being organized by the International Association for Quality Education and the South Asian International Association for Early Childhood Care and Development, and being hosted by Kunwar Global School in Lucknow, India. So I, on behalf of the host school, take this opportunity to welcome everyone at this event. And thank you so very much. I wish Madam Namrata a wonderful session ahead. God bless.
Thank you, sir. So now I would like to invite Mrs. Namrata to speak a few words to give a brief self-introduction prior to starting this discussion.
Thank you, ma'am. I am Namrata Chaudhary. I am an educator and I am presently working as an international speaker for Institute of Global Professionals. I am also RKDX talk speaker. I am also working as a PGT biology. I am also working as a school training nodal coordinator.
Thank you, ma'am. So today we'll be discussing on remedial education. So as you all are aware, it's a very timely topic, or it's a timely sector for South Asian countries like us, because we believe that it can contribute to a greater extent in achieving quality education for all. So with that, I guess we can start the interview. So my first question is now, remedial education is, as I said earlier, probably the foundation in boosting quality education for developing countries like us. So the name itself suggests that the remedial means some kind of cure, some kind of healing. So with that, how do you define remedial education? As per your opinion, what is remedial education?
Okay. So remedial education is a specific method is assigned to assist the students in order to achieve the expected competencies such as numeracy skill and literacy skill. If we will see that the literacy skill, there are, if we will consider any language, Hindi, Marathi, any language, English, French, German, any language, in that the three skills needs to improve. That is first, reading with understanding, writing with understanding, and listening with understanding. So these three skills are most important. So if any child is lacking behind for this, that student is not able to read, write, or something is facing the difficulty, he can read but not understanding. So that is the remedial education. So we are training the children to get the literacy and numeracy skill.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So as we discussed in the first question itself, remedial education enables students to develop in a scale that mainly for the students who lag behind the other students. This enables those students to catch up with them and develop as well. So what is the purpose of remedial education? I mean, who is the real target of this education?
So the target education children are, for example, anyone in the school. For example, it's not only the dull child is the, actually there is no dull child. Every child can able to read and write, right? Okay, we can accept some things who are having the disabilities. But every child, for example, many things I'm seeing in my career of 13 years, okay, many students are having the misconception regarding the subject. Second, they are having the fear of subject. Physical and emotional factors like their health is not good, or they are having certain shock or something else, so that they are lacking behind in that topic or that particular era of the examination. So that kind of child can be in a remedial education. So it's not as the person who is always first, he or she, that student cannot be for the remedial education. So remedial education is the part where if this, for example, biology, many people are having the fear of biology, mathematics, social science. So the target students will be these children who are having this type of this misconception or something else.
Thank you, ma'am. So with these definitions and all, for the first time, someone might misunderstand this remedial education with special education. Some might think that this is kind of a special education given for disabled children, disabled in the sense disabled from the knowledge, maybe we have some disorders, some mental disorders when it comes to education. Maybe they might think that we are targeting that set of children in this education, which is not the case. So how do you elaborate this?
I saw many children when first time I started this phenomenon in my school. So many parents were saying that, yes, ma'am, my child is up to this class, my child is first in the subject, my child is first in the school, and how you can take my child for the remedial education? Because, for example, that one many children are having mostly the fear of mathematics, biological diagrams, the name and something else. So they are having the fear. So if we are telling them, yes, we have categorized, if we are writing a letter to the parents, yes, dear parents, your child is selected for the remedial education, because we have to watch our children, right? As a teacher, we are seeing our children when we are assessing them. For example, during their communication, when we are talking, when we are discussion, we are applying the discussion method, when we are teaching, and when they are writing the paper, we came to know easily, yes, this child is lagging behind in this, and that's why we are choosing it. So it's not as any child who is very first or is brilliant, it's not a shameful thing that they are categorized. So it is the misconception in the many parents mind that child remedial education is only for the people who are unable to read or write. So this should be the target areas, and we should make aware about the remedial education to the parents as well as our teaching staff regarding this.
Yes, ma'am. Continuing from that elaboration, so it's not just a backup for those who lack basic standards of education. Rather, it has many aspects like one-to-one tutoring, specialist tutoring, private tutoring. It has many different aspects. So it's better if you can elaborate or maybe point on some of these aspects of remedial education.
Okay, so there are many methods that we can use. For example, we have to keep in our brain, okay, how I can make my subject very easy to my child. Right. For example, if the student is having fear of chemistry, so the simple thing that the chemistry is total whole chemistry is based on the 5 types of the reactions, that displacement reaction, redox reaction, this type of reaction. So we have to make them acquainted. We can use some acronym poems, such as I'm having my own development, such as if we are having the fear about they are having the fear about the to draw the diagram, such as in biology, how to draw the heart diagram, how to elaborate, how to discuss the part, and how to do it. So within 3 months, 3 minutes, the students can draw the diagram of heart within by using some own tricks. For example, T, O, and V formula with the 3S. T, that is aorta, that we can do is pulmonary artery aorta. That so in this way we have to make the simple. So by using some tricks, some using acronyms such as Kurti Vakramana Fekoni Kuzav, that D block element. So they are feeling very easy it when they are learning. For example, if you are teaching them the what we can say elements, that reactivity series, that reactivity series also, if they wish to learn, then we can use some acronyms such as Kedarnath ka mali aloo chaat zara fika aur sasta pakata hai, high court hai aapka. So in that, these elements are hiding, right? So and we can make that our children these things easy. Second thing, we can start with the counseling. Students are having the fear about that subject, that's why they are in that remedial, or they did not, their study method is wrong. Maybe their study method, most of the time what happens, mathematics, in case of the mathematics, the students like to read it, but mathematics is a subject that they can not read, they should solve. Mathematics is a subject to practice, not to read. Yes, few things we can read, but the speed and that calculations, and that when we are habitual, at least we should give them one mantra that only half hour you have to practice every day. Without half hour, the mathematics will be easy thing. I would like to give my own example. I was fail in the mathematics when I was in grade 7th, and my marks were still I remember. Okay, my marks were 7 and 11. In the 7 in algebra and 11 in geometry. So and the rest of the subject I was having nearby out of or something else, very good marks. But mathematics I was having fear that time. So my teacher has helped me in that way. My teacher called me because our era was we were faring right to with the teachers. But nowadays it's very free communication. It's very happy communication between the child and teacher. So my teacher told me how you are doing the study of mathematics. So my teacher have explained me, because what was my mistake? I was reading mathematics. Whatever the sir was giving in the class, that I was just reading before 2 or 3 days of the examination. So that was my mistake. My mistake was I was having I was not lagging behind mentally or something else, but my study method was wrong. So this can be one of the method that we can tell to our children that yes, you're lagging behind in this, or your study method is wrong in the way. Then most of the time what happened in case of SST, the students are having the blender of the whatever the terminologies is used in SST, right? So we can start with a fishbone diagram. For example, French revolution. Then French Revolution, why, how, we can use fishbone diagram. That is the concept map. So in this way, we can minimize it and we can elaborate the remedial teaching. These are the methods that we can use according to the subject wise, but it is person to person. Okay, one method we cannot apply to every child. We must have to study the child.
True, I really agree with you with the points. So this indicates kind of like a private tutoring to some extent, because now we were referring to one-to-one tutoring, private tutoring as some aspects of this remedial education. So one might argue that this is not something new. This is another extension of private tutoring, which targets only a targeted group, only a special group of children. So how do you back up this?
It's not only the private tutoring part. As a teacher, because child is coming at us to us, right? As a teacher, not only if we should recognize it as a, yes, convert it to remedial teaching as a private tutoring. We can arrange in our school also. Either we can give before school or after school or in between. If the child is having any proxy period or something else, every day might be child is free. Or if we are having now the clubs, right, in the school, every school is having the club. Okay, so in that club event, we can take some time of the child, but child is not for whole year, right? For remedial. So we can adjust in that way. So the teacher, we also think about the teacher. Okay, in the school, how we can. But first priority is this: if the child is coming to me, if child I'm teaching, I'm a teacher, so I should be responsible for my child development. Right, it's not, we cannot suggest to the parents. Yes, I saw many times that it is suggested that yes, private tutoring is the solution for remedial teaching. No, I use this method for many days in my school, and we got success. We if we are adjusting the teacher's period and appreciation to the teachers, so everyone is working if the proper planning is needed for it.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So in that case, now when it comes to remedial education, a teacher plays a vital role. Or else like a teacher has to go an extra mile or step forward, because this involves a lot of commitment, a lot of extra work, because you were referring to like it could be even before the school, it could be even after the school. So in that case, there's a big scope for a teacher when it comes to remedial education. And the attitude matters a lot for a teacher. So how do you define the role of a teacher when it comes to remedial education?
Teacher's role is first off to remove the fear of subject or whatever the misconception child is having. So that teacher is the first step is the counseling. We have to remove it from the child brain, right? Why the child is going for the remedial? Because then misconception, fear, that is physical and emotional something factors. So this we have to we have to try that first. There is we can judge the child by the diagnostic test. There is a diagnostic test, right? So by using the diagnostic test also we can judge children. Yes, he or she is for what type of remedial education or subject, and that. And even together with that, during communication, right, during when we are assessing the paper, why the child is having the less marks in the subject. So if we are collecting all the data, then we can collect this data, and we can judge that yes, the child is for this remedial education. And then the role of teacher is next. If for example mathematics teacher, SST teacher or something else, by using some easy tricks and practice, we can remove that child from the remedial education, or we can remove the fear of the regarding subject or whatever it is from the mind of child. So teacher is nothing but a motivator and a booster for the child.
You might have engaged in remedial education, you might have experienced the process of remedial education, especially in India. So in your context, like how would you like to share your experience when it comes to remedial education?
The remedial education means one survey was taken in Malaysia, and that paper was also published. So the study is to investigate the issues and trends in the remedial education. So in our India, the teachers, we are every school like that, teachers should take the remedial education, but we are not finding. First of all, there are many issues in our India. For example, we must have to think about the teachers' workload. Second, lack of fund. Third, the non-conductive learning environment, the lack of support from the school administrators, high number of students, and these are the reasons of the failure of the remedial program. So what we can do, we can arrange a special training program for the remedial teaching to the teachers, reducing their workload. We can keep one teacher separately who like that teacher is very friendly and can be easily communicating with the students. So we can keep that workload of that teacher less. so that she can or he can work on this remedial children. Again, providing little financial structure and teaching aids, the financial allocation to or reward to the teacher, and the teaching time. For example, special remedial teachers giving the teacher time in the school, right? In the school time itself. What happens generally in our India, we people, the teacher, we are saying that many administration are saying that yes, you have to teacher, you have to take the remedial class, but we are not adjusting her period, right? So if more than that period she is working or he is working, how would we able to do the concentration on that child, right? So second thing, it's not the only in India, but overall, if we will do the study of Malaysia, China, every country about the remedial, what are the problems the teachers are facing, little appreciation works a lot, right? So little allocation to the little financial allocation or any other allocation to the teacher who is teaching in the remedial children. So that is working, and I also experience it. I also have applied it. So these are the issues of the teachers, and we can go through in this way. So teachers or the administrators should have to understand this. First, teachers' workload should be reduced. The verbal appreciation. See, we teachers are working, we don't need more. We know okay, very less amount or salary or something else we are getting here, right? But though we are in this field because it's our passion. And little if someone is appreciating us, then we people are doing a lot of things. We are able to do the lot of things. So this is this lacking behind. And if we will adjust, who is ready, means actually everyone is busy, right? And this, if you will see, the school timing is also increased. Many private tutors, many private schools have increased the time of their school. So who will like to, many schools, what they are doing after the school, they are telling to teachers, you wait and then you take the remedial classes. So this should not be, as these are the consequences that teachers are facing.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So at a glance, remedial education seems to be a survivor for developing countries like us. Is it true, or is this practiced by other developed countries as well? You were referring to China, Malaysia. So is it the same maybe when it comes to America, Europe countries? Even they are also practicing this, or is this just a surviving tool kind of a thing for Asians?
No, ma'am, it is not as it's a country where actually when that survey was taken and research paper were published, the 18 countries were observed. If everywhere, what is any country in the world, if that country is having the education system, right, they're having the subjects. So the child, we will find out children, many who are who can be categorized for the remedial teaching, right? And first of all, they if we will work on our lesson plan, the lesson plan should be in that way, okay, every child should get that what the teacher is teaching, right? For means we have to adapt the boosters to concentrate the concentration of the child about that. So it's not as every child only what is remedial literacy and numeracy skill of that particular subject, right? It may be mathematics, it may be languages, it may be the sciences, different skills. So literacy and numeracy, it can be, it not as only our Asian children are facing this. All over the India, if we will India or in any country all over the world, this problem is the same.
So now as we like as per your all your clarification, it seems like remedial education can do a lot for Asian countries like us, especially because we still have so many targets to achieve in terms of education. We have a long way to go in terms of quality education for all. So in that case, remedial education seems to be the cheapest, most affordable, most easiest way to bridge this gap in education. So you might have like explained these things throughout this interview, but since we are at the end of the interview and since we are to wind up the session, I guess you can just summarize the points, and like what I want to know get is like what can we do to promote remedial education, especially in developing countries? You mentioned that this is not only being practiced in developing countries, but in developed countries as well. But considering the regional issues, considering this as a solution for these issues in the region for education, because this summit is targeting the SGS goal for quality education. So these interviews are in line with the summit. It's kind of the cheapest, most easiest way for us, the Asians, to bridge the gap in education, because we don't have the option of going for expensive, most technically advanced options to bridge this gap. But remedial education is affordable. We all can practice it. So we have to promote this. So what are the strategies you suggest to promote remedial education, especially in the region?
Okay, ma'am, first I would like to suggest that we have to change our lesson plan. For example, every topic or every subject teaching should start with an energizer and booster. For example, textual, for example, in the textbook, they have given any one topic. So we must have to start our every topic with which is related with the daily life, right? For example, human digestion or any mathematical calculation. For example, decimals. First, I would like to elaborate about a human digestive system. Actually, we must have to tell the children why we have to start with the 3 questions. Why to study this? Whatever we are studying, why to study this? How to study this? Second question is how to study this? And third, what will be the benefit after studying it? So if we will see our curriculum is very best curriculum, so that we have to first try to inculcate all these things, the practical application of the knowledge and this, and we have to start with the any booster. So what kind of booster we can use? For example, digestive system. Dear children, what you have ate yesterday? Many children, you will get many answers, right? Someone may tell that, yes, ma'am, sweet dish such as gulab jam I ate, some green leafy vegetables I ate, bhakri I ate, bread I ate, chapati and this. So what happens? And many a times we are facing acidity, right? So what to do with this? How to deal with, right? So if in this way we are starting, we are collecting the concentration of the student. For example, second example I would like to give. Anything, if for example, mathematics, any calculation is going on, that is decimal, and children don't like decimal calculations, right? So we have to start with it daily, or whatever the grocery we are buying. Right now, printed, we are getting everything. So how it is given in point, right? So we have to start with that. So they will have the interest. Yes, mama, it is very easy. Yes, teacher, it is very easy. That everyday life we are doing this, right? So we must have to start the topic in this booster way. And at the last, there should be the something current scenario. Okay, whatever, for example, any digestive system, now what the people are facing nowadays. Many people are facing the problem of the gallbladder stone, or something is peptic ulcer. Then one of child we are getting as they people are facing some issues at a family member. Some of from their family member, they are facing such type of issues. So we can elaborate that, right? So what the children we are teaching and what the children are getting. So we need to adapt two things. First is energizer, and second, the problem solving. That is competency based. Nowadays, if you see that our new NEP is focusing more on the activity based and competency based teaching, right? Next, we must have to solve the problems of the teacher, right? We must have to speak frankly with the teachers, what is exactly problem, and we must have to train our teachers that how to judge and what type of methodology we have to use. So little work, administrative work, little to guide teachers, and again second work is to solve the problem. So if we are having the little problem, and appreciation and repetition is the key. appreciation in the repetition is the key of remedial class or remedial education. So this can be applied for the teacher also and for the student also. So if little bit this we are including, and little bit our own tricks, and need to develop our own tricks, how we can make this subject or the topic very easy to the child. So that we must have to departmental meet should be, we can conduct the departmental meet at every, if we are having the Saturday off in the school or something else, one day we must have to keep in a week, so that what are the problems the teachers are observing in the children, that we can discuss and we can have the healthy discussion, and we can have the healthy solution out of that discussion.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. So throughout these discussions, we've discussed on many topics, but this is the first time we talked about remedial education. So I'm really grateful for you, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and experience on remedial education. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation to take part in this interview series. On behalf of the association, I'm really thankful to you, ma'am, for committing your time, for your preparation, and for sharing your knowledge and experience once again. So with that, I guess we've come to an end of this interview. So yeah, if there's anything else you want to add, this is the time, ma'am.
I am also feeling very great, ma'am, to have the communication with you and to give the interview in this way. It's actually, if we will see that we need to concentrate on remedial education. Many children, I saw many children, they are lacking behind, and they are living, they are changing the subjects, they are changing the stream, and whatever their best is, best what they can do. For example, many children are good in the medical field, very good in their artistic or some. I did remedial for art also, art education. So craft and this. So children are, why the children are very frustrated. I observe when we, as I am also a mother, if we are seeing that, okay, why child is crying, because they wish that someone should spend time with them. That's why child is crying. Very less, at very less reason are that they are something, they are having some physical stomach aches or something else. The problem is very rare, but why they are coming to us? Because why they are crying? They want attention. So children also want attention. So it's not asking for art education or something else, drawing and something else. So we must have to keep watch on the children entertainment also. Right. So remedial education is not only for the literacy and numeracy. I would like to say it is for the every part, whatever that we are teaching to the child, and whatever child is learning, for that it can be. So I am thinking that agar my music teacher or something else, now I came to know that my voice is very good. Right. So I'm lacking behind. If I would have got the very good guidance at that time, I would have made my career in that. Right. I'm very good in the biological skill. I like the biology and mathematics from the bottom of the heart. So if somewhere we are lacking behind in this key to check our best things or what we like actually. So as a teacher, the parents are not more concerned, because it's our job. The parents are doing 24 hours work or something else. They are busy in their work, right? They are taking the admission, or they are giving admission to in our school. Why? Because they are believing on us. So that's why the Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan also tell that teacher is the future, right? And the teacher is a nation builder. So if we will work in this way, definitely our Asian summit or whatever the Asian this area, if we will work on these points, then it will no child will be in the remedial, and I don't think so that child will lacking behind in something.
Yes, remedial education, of course, has enough space for a teacher to grow, a teacher to show the real purpose of a teacher. So thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing a lot of information, facts, which would be very important, which would be very informative, which would facilitate a lot of educators who have joined with us. So thank you very much, ma'am, once again. And I would like to thank Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra, who joined today as the guest speaker. And also I would like to thank Mr. Janika Kamalgoda, the president of our association, for creating this platform. Thank you, sir. And last not but least, I would like to remind you all about the summit. It's the International Education Summit for Quality Education 2022, which will be held from 28th to 30th October 2022 in Lucknow, India. So I take this an opportunity to invite you all for this summit in Lucknow, India. I believe it's going to be a wonderful event with educators joining from many different parts, not only from Asia. So please join in hand with us on this event in October. So with that, I guess we can wind up today's session. Hope to meet you with another session like this. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.